Hey, howdy everybody. Doing another chill day drawing stream, which actually, I kinda fucked up the stream name. God dang it. I keep forgetting to switch them in between each one. We'll get there eventually. There we go. Alright, so anyway, this is a continuation of the Amos Burton bust from Expanse. I did manage to get a little bit of practice in between just to get myself a little bit better for these different positions I'm gonna have to do them in. So we got the 4 already planned out for what we need to do next. And now it's just making sure I can get the fucking face right. Had some good sleep, baby. You lost something?
My phone.
Can't find it?
Nope.
That one's mine. It's not on the couch, is it? Not in the bathroom either?
Last I had it was out here. I don't have any pockets, so.
I haven't moved anything on this side of the desk, but I'm not sitting on it either, I promise. Turn the light back on.
There it is. Have it.
Well done.
Sorry
Love
to
you.
interrupt. Good night.
Yeah, I've seen. Get some good sleep.
I try.
Guess question is, which one do we want to start with? Because this one is pretty much my half shot. So we need to do a straight on, if you can't figure out what these are, from behind, and then we need to do one of the left hand side, which honestly I was trying that one on my work week, and holy crap, I think that one's going to give me the most pause than anything else. So I work on scrap pieces of paper at work. No fucks, if I'm bored, that's what I'm doing. And honestly, I feel like I got the straight face fairly good. The mouth here, where it's underneath the gun, is kind of giving me the runaround, but it's majorly this side. It's a really hard angle to do of this guy, so I might start there and see how we get. You gonna be spazzing out, Burton? Oh, she got a flamin's response. What'd you sniff? Oh, she sniffed something. She's playing with the ball. I got her hyped up. Nerf guns. The Nerf gun ball. She absolutely loves those things. One of these days I'll have to catch her on video with it, because she's ridiculous and adorable to watch playing with them. I bounce all over the place. This is great. So anyway, I think first thing we might need to do is actually maybe get another picture of our character, because I'm not sure I have a good one to go off of when it comes to that specific face, where we've got the left side majorly, or I'm sorry, his right side of the face majorly on screen. I've got a couple that are kind of okay, like this one. Gives me a good shot, and then that one will be a good one to go off of too. Actually, I'm gonna close it on that. There was actually the only way I was able to work on it at work, I was looking at a GIF, no shit, so in motion trying to get all of it down. And I think I got it pretty well. But I need to be perfect, because obviously perfect brain won't let anything go. Swear to God, that is the one curse of working as an artist, is just everything must be that just amount of good enough that honestly is so hard to get sometimes. So let me quickly look up a picture of the character and see if I can find a better one to go off of. Wasn't entirely prepared for this, so maybe. That one could kind of work. We'll have to change the angle a little bit. Save image. That was also from one of the better scenes, as well as this one that I'm looking at. Sorry, so there's a couple of moments in the show that are just... If you didn't love Amos then, you're gonna love him now, we'll put it that way. Like, just watching him do... I don't want to ruin anything. Literally trying not to ruin anything for you guys, because it's so worth it. He's just gotta be one of the best characters in that show, no offense to anybody else. There's some... I mean, like, Holden and Naomi are pretty cool. Alex I really liked. Bobby is like... Whew. She a badass. At first, I'm not gonna lie, I did not care for her character at all, because she was a bit of a shithead. But I mean, she grew, literally, over time, and you can see her progression as she gets... I mean, smarter is definitely a way to go, but more mature is definitely the other part of it, and starts to figure things out, and it's actually really cool to see her character progression, so I can appreciate why some of my friends are like, oh no, Bobby's the best. She's at least in the top. Yeah, I'd say she's top 3. So it would be Amos, Avasarala, because she's just, oh my god, she's so badass, and then Bobby. For sure. Alright, I'm pretty sure I got what I need. Hopefully this one will... No, it's gonna be stupid. Alright. That's one of those that's gonna want to open up on a freaking web page instead of being good to me. I'm pretty sure this one will actually work pretty nicely, because it's got the angle of the head that I'd be looking for. No, I'm not saving it as a web page. There we go. Yep. At least I'm trying not to save it as a web page. Pain in the dick. No, it wants to be stupid. Alright. Fuck it. If it wants to do that, I'll just go ahead and drag it down here. Alright. Because this will work really nicely, I think. Gonna have to keep it big, okay. Well, if it wants to be extra, it can be as extra as it wants. I'm gonna go with here. That'll work. I'll be a little fucky to move around, but that'll work. Alright. So, this one's good because he's actually at that angle up and we can see the bottom of his nose, which in that shot here, like this one here, his face is tilted just enough to where you can see the bottom of his nose like that, and on the other side, it would look about the same because he is leaning into the gun, but he's leaning at a very weird angle, we'll put it that way, which is why this one's a pretty good reference as well. Because it's close to the position that we need anyway. It's obviously not the exact same shot, but it's almost there. Because he tends to look down the sights the same way, especially when he's trying. So, was debating whether or not I need to make it so I can work on another page, but we're going to stick with this and see how much of this page we can fill out. So I'm going to start with, we did number 1. That's this one here. That's this guy. We're going to do number 2. Although I'll be completely honest, number 3 is going to be pretty fun. I did find some good pictures for the back of the armor, if I stick with the armor, because I was debating doing a different costume for it, which actually you can see in this shot here. It's his usual on the Rocinante, because then I'd be able to actually paint the tattoos, and I could do some of these patches as well, which honestly I really like the patches that he wears. So, debatable. I might put up a poll, see what everybody else says. Anyway. Back on point, so I'm only going to be on for about 2 hours, because I do have some plans with people going around 1 o'clock, so I'm gonna jump out of here around 12:30, 12:40ish. So I gotta keep an eye on the time, too. Alright, so thankfully I actually managed to get most of the pose down, and this picture is pretty close. The only thing is if, like, he were to move maybe a couple of degrees more towards that angle, that would be about the same. So I want to keep this pretty small because I'm not trying to go too big. I want to conserve some fucking space on this page. Did I lie? Part of my brain's like, we should do 4 first. When I do 4, I might have to actually do 2 different versions. One with and one without the arms. So that I can see how the body position is going to be with the rest of the armor work in there. Versus when the arms are there, it's going to cover a good chunk of that. Like on it, how it did here. Like actually, I might have to do all of them multiple times. Anyway. So there's been the debate. Actually, one of my coworkers reminded me that that's actually a thing of scanning something in and making a 3D model by just the scan in a specific program, but I'd have to look that up. But it does have my interest peaked since learning to sculpt would be a cool thing, but at the same time it's going to take a lot of time, and I'm not going to lie, not a lot of time that I have. So... Debates for future Molly to figure the fuck out. This also requires me to get a whole bunch of stuff that I don't have yet, but 3D printers are a thing that I want to get hopefully soon in the near future, because I have a fuck ton of STLs. I've literally been subscribed to some STL people for like a year, so I'm sitting on a ton, and I just haven't done anything with them yet, which kind of sucks, because like I feel like they'd be really cool to do on here. So eventually it's definitely gonna happen. I have no idea which one I'm gonna start with. That might be a poll I have to put on the page. Because there's... God, if you guys know who Loot Crate is... Or, not Loot Crate. Loot Studios. They do miniature STLs and they've been doing it for a long time. And they actually started going into sci-fi. I haven't done any of their sci-fi stuff yet. But... I figure... Eventually I'll probably get some of those. It depends on how they look. Some of them look pretty cool, but I really like their fantasy stuff more than anything else. Here's the fun part, is just flipping that face around. Because, of course, Molly had to pick the hard one. Let's see... Thankfully... Wes's eyebrow to chin ratio is pretty even. It's pretty cool. So here's a fun part about it. If you ever do decide to draw and sculpt, figuring out the makeup of people's faces, and like what I mean is like the difference in the ratios between their chins, their brows, where their cheekbone rests, because there are people, and you can see it, who have the higher or the lower cheekbone. Mine is fairly fucking high, actually, and so is Wes's. And I think that's... I'd want to say Germanic. A Germanic placement. That's something I've been wanting to study just for fun, is different facial makeups from, like, different nationalities, because they do. The things that make us look different is the placement. And it's figuring out where the placements are. It really knock your art up way much more. Because I mean, anybody who does like cartoon comic characters, you'll get like, if you're doing more cartoon, doing the overexerted features, you'll get a lot of practice on doing some of them. But you can still see where the cartoons, we'll call it the base for them, is always the same. Or they'll have like maybe 4 or 5 different base character shapes, and they put the different features on them. And I mean, when you really study anatomy, a lot of that, pretty much how that works anyway. You've got your your base anatomy and what it will look like, and then you just add the features on top of it, and you can make anything you want. Okay, so major difference is that this version of the face is definitely going to be pointing a little bit more than the top right over here. Especially if I'm going for a major focus on the left face. That's okay. I got this. That's a great facial expression, though. I'm going to have to save this one for later. And there's something I do, too. I do make, like, little sketches and cartoons on the side just for fun. I love facial expressions, man. The difference that you can get from doing a cartoon style to, like, a proper comic style on just how the facial expressions will look, they're so fun. Okay, so getting down below the nose is where we're gonna have the fun, so to speak. Because as we get down here, we've got the fact that his face is being squished towards the gun. So in this case, it'd be that direction, because you can see it up here, where his mouth starts to scrunch up against the gun itself, because he is butting his face against it. Which also scrunches up the cheek here, which is why I have this one poked up, because that is a really good example of that. I have a feeling if I was to actually sculpt this, that would be one of the more fun parts to try to do, and not make it look like super silly or funny. Sorry, I might be yawning a couple of times. I have not been sleeping well. But there's just sometimes I can't. So we just keep it trucking. Something seems wrong here. Yeah, hold on. And yes, I do have a tendency to jump back and forth on features like this. I'm also trying to make sure that I don't make the head too big. So here's where the base of his skull is. And yeah, this is honestly why I like drawing actors and actresses and stuff. Not only they're alive, you know, you can find tons of reference photos, but picking apart the anatomy and how it works. Because I am that kind of person that I have to think about that the entire time. Like, okay, how does this actually fit in with such and such? How would it move to do such and such? Because that's just how my brain works, and I really enjoy that line of thought process. Because if I can pick it apart, I can build it back up. Alright, fun part is the neck is going to be squished like this, and then the shoulder comes back up here, and then this one isn't going down. Like up here you can't quite see it, but it would be, because you've got the little drop here. It's not a huge drop, it's just this tiny drop. And I'm probably gonna need another page for this if I keep going this big. Alright, gonna try to shrink it down a bit. That can be the hardest part for me, is not making things too large. Because you got all this space and the brain goes, you can fill that, and just everywhere. Alright. So we're gonna start again. That's okay. This is natural. So the angle of the face, we'll start there. Angle of the face is gonna be like this, and that's what these lines are for. This is how I tell myself the angle of the face is going to be. You know, I've got the 3/4 view, and it's angled this way. So, forehead, chin. And then you have the eyes, which are going to be like this. If you did a literal line between his eyes, it is ding ding. And that's what helped me to come up with these in the first place. The eye line and that face angle can stay pretty much the same. The only time it'll change is when we start doing the above and below view. And I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to pull those off, to be completely honest. They're a hard view to do, which is why doing dynamic comics, it can be a pain in the ass, man. And it's just trying to do those different angles. Alright. Facial shape. So I feel like I can start there. So we start with the chin. Yeah. Up, in, out, back again. And as said, at least in that view, his cheekbone to eyebrow is pretty even, and then actually the curve from his chin, and I kid you not, dang dang, hey, you could just trace that line right up. That doesn't always work, so I've had a couple other actors that I've tried drawing before where, like Taika Waititi, his face is actually more round and circular, but if you want a good face to practice drawing, dude, draw Taika. I swear to God, his facial shape, there's just something about it that makes it so easy to draw. I can't really explain it past that. It's the first time I tried it, I was like, oh shit, that took me like 5 minutes. Okay. Maybe I was just feeling it that day. But I did it again, because I wanted to draw one of my favorite scenes from Our Flag Means Death. If you have not watched it, it's fucking hilarious. And the passive aggression scene, if you have seen that, you will know what I'm talking about. And I drew that scene because I was a frontline cashier for a day, and it was a dead day. There was nothing, there was no one, and I was like, fuck it, I'm drawing. And I literally spent the full 8 hours drawing on the front line, just waiting for customers. So yeah, that was a highly detailed, tiny little picture I made. Cause I was like, fuck it, I got time, let's do the background, let's do all the details of their clothes, let's go for the whole thing. And I swear again, drawing Taika's face, just boop, done. Okay, so coming back to where the neck is, he's leaning his head into it, so most of the neck would be viewed from this side. It's going to be squished down on the side here that we can see. You just have a fairly long neck too, so I'm just trying to keep this stuff in mind as I go along, because, yeah, and there's problem number 2 that I wasn't catching. So this is why I tried to draw the clavicle out, because it can help me figure out where the body is, and the way that you can move the clavicle, you can angle it in certain ways to help yourself out. So fun part here, since he's leaning down and into, his clavicle is going to be a little further back instead of just straight underneath. I just gotta figure out how to get that across in this, and I'm not entirely sure, so we're gonna work on the jawline real quick, which is gonna come up here. Yep, that seems pretty accurate. Alright, and then the ear line is going to follow the line of the eyes. to edge. Yeah, it's just straight across. Alright. So his ears. He got the flat back ears. Nothing wrong with that. Speaking of ears, I had a funny thought. My older brother. Oh, he had the elephant ears, bro. The ones that are, like, huge and stick off the side of the face more instead of being, like, more flat back. When you see him, you'll know him, trust me. Oh, shit. Alright. So that's pretty good. So the neckline is gonna be... Oh, and I gotta think this out. Carpal tunnel's acting up like crazy right now. I have to excuse the popping and cracking. Need to do some exercises with it. If you ever have carpal tunnel issues and you don't know how to deal with them at home, do yourself a favor, get a tennis ball and squeeze. And then if you can, like, try to move, like, keep a grip on it and then move your hand around in circles and just kind of flex a little bit. It does actually help. Quick little reference for myself. My shoulder would actually come out to here. Alright. Let's see. Probably gonna have to futz with that arm a little bit, but for now that's a pretty good start. When it comes down to this kind of stuff, guys, go ahead and just put down your outline, and then, like I was saying before with characters, just start working on the features as you go. Which is why I'm not working on his facial features right now, because I know I'd get caught up in that shit. Alright, which actually, I need to hunch the back a little bit more, because there is a curve which I did detail here, so the curve here should work about the same. Just gotta be elongated more on one side because that's what we're seeing more. Alright, and then just in that outfit. He pretty broad. And then season 5, he bulked out a bit. God damn it, Ken. You done? Okay. Season 5, he bulked out a little bit, so I'm trying not to use too many reference photos from that season because his body is a little bit beefier. Not that that's a problem, but you know, I'm trying to keep a consistency here. Let's see, and his body angle is gonna be, here's up, he's stretching the ribs here, compressing them here, and then it's gonna work at a bit of an angle because it's not quite in and out, but it is, as I said, compressed this side, elongated this side, and he is hunching just a slight bit forward, but not by much. Which actually, I think that's where I'm going wrong. That's not quite right. Because it's... Guy keeps an aggressive pose, which is going to be more straight and angular. A passive pose would be more curved, and then it would normally be hunched everything down more, whereas this is, you ain't fucking with me. God damn. Man, my wrist is acting up like a son of a bitch. And it's starting in my elbow. Let's see. Now I got a better picture of like full length him, because that is kind of giving me the runaround right here. He doesn't have the leak shape, he's got more of the rectangular shape. So I'm just trying to keep that in mind, not to slim it down towards the hips too much, because that doesn't quite fit. So I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna look more like I'm drawing him shirtless, because that's gonna help me with figuring out the body pose. Which is, if you ever wondered why artists do so many naked people, it's because drawing anatomy is hard. You put clothes on top of it, it gets harder. Because then you gotta figure out how that works. So doing him naked just makes it that slight bit easier. So we got, thanks to post 3, that comes pretty good with how this is gonna angle out. Because it should be like this. And then let's see. So this is coming forward. This arm, okay, so this arm is doing a little in, but it's more out. This is why I need to get back to lifting at the gym. Because, picking up and lifting weights is actually doing that exercise with the tennis ball constantly. And it did help. So, pretty sure here I'm not making the shoulder high enough. So if we lift the shoulder that amount, here's the armhole. And then we've got the twist of the body, which is this leg would be back. So the body twist is here. And twist forward. So the belly button would be down here somewhere. Alright. Go to the start of the diaphragm. Your pectoral muscles. Cat, why are you freaking out? Wait, what are you doing? What is she doing? So I won't play. I won't play and be silly, mommy. Here, I'll make you your nest. You can come sit next to me when you're ready. When she's ready. She'll look like she's gonna keep freaking out for a bit. Is nobody playing with you? No. He's smush. You can deal with me sweet talking my cat. Alright. That's not quite the same gun, but it's pretty goddamn close. Which actually I'm fairly certain it's about the same one. Yeah. Okay, so you have the pocket here. And then yeah, I think I made the shoulder too low, but that's okay. we can fix that. So, coming back to the face real quick, and the way it's scrunched up is you have the bottom of the ear here, and then it's like this chipmunk cheek. I'm calling it chipmunk cheek. Here it is. And the gun sits about here. Let's see. Because it does lift up a little bit there. Right. And then if we change the angle of that more. That is the only shitty part about not having better references. This is about the best I can get. But that's okay. Mala can make do. Wish I might have angled this face a bit too much. That's okay. But if we put the gun here, he's got it fully properly pocketed. Which, yeah, I'm gonna have to change a little bit of the chin work here. Okay, smells the ear. So we have the gun, we have the shoulder coming up, which is why this side is more stretched. Shows off the twist more. Okay. Coming back to the gun. We got the cheek. Which that's gonna be down into the chin area. Bum, bum. His ear sits off of it. Let's see. If that's... yeah, if that's the ear. Which is fine. Down. It was only slightly off. That's not so bad. I could have done so much worse. Okay, so I wasn't too far off. And yes, I'm figuring out where the other finger behind the gun is. I'm trying to do as much as I can here, so the more I can do, the easier it's going to be for me to figure out in a different medium, because that way my brain knows exactly where things should be to line them up better, which does make a huge difference. So I have the finger here, which is one of the only ones that's kind of curved around a gun specifically like that. The rest of them are slightly curved. And it's almost like they're leaning into each other. Whereas the thumb is on the other side pinching the gun, like how we have this one here. We'd have it almost straight across from, so we've got the palm on the inside here, yep. And then you'd have that. Would be more accurate to how he's holding it. Alright, so now that we've got that, we have the arm going backwards, which is maybe too scrunched up for this. Maybe. But the arm is... So whereas this one angles this way, this other picture here, it does have the same angle, but it does... Yeah, his arm's going more out than I thought. Alright. See, this is why we do this. So if we change the angle, yeah, it's going to be more over his arm than across. But this part of the arm is more outwards this way. You have the overlap, his elbow here, and then you would have the fun of the dynamic pose, which is the arm is over top of itself. So if I was to express that, I could do something like this. To kind of show that better. This part of the arm underneath, really not going to show much here, but that's okay. So we've got still the line of it coming from behind, and then there's the chest. Some more forward arm. Oh, and this is where the anatomy of the gun is going to get me. Let me pull up the specifically the guns. Alright, so the one we're going is the one down here. So I'm gonna go ahead, pull one of these, put it right between, because I don't need his fast. And then we make it bigger. Alright, yeah, that's actually exactly the one that he's using down here. Yay for early seasons. Let's see. Anatomy of the rifle inside this pose. Alright, so we have that. We have where the pistol hand grip should go. Which this is just going to be rough as fuck shapes. You're going to have to excuse me. This is tough enough already. Alright, so we have this here, so I need to dump that down a bit. We've got here. Again, pistol hand grip. You're not going to see the curve of it too much here. This is where the two sides meet. It comes up here. Somewhere around here is going to be the sights, which is great because that eyeball is the one that's looking through them. And I'm just going to do this block for where they are. And then you have down to the front of the gun. Yeah, okay. General shape. General shape. Okay, so we have this hand is on there before the pump action, which is here, and then there we go. So it is actually a slightly different gun from this one, I think, or at least as far as it looks. I mean, this is the compressed gun from like season 3. Yeah, season 3. It's a slightly different gun, which I couldn't find a good reference for. They did have a really great reference guide, just the one you see there, for season 2, which were a good chunk of the guns that he likes to use anyway, so it's close enough. Alright. According to this picture, yeah, I got that pretty phenomenally correct. Slight difference only goes to... I can't tell if that's the shadow of the gun or actually him. But here's that, and then the pistol grip is there, so I did get that right. That's nice. But getting the hand in that position, because we do have it angled a slight bit more and more forward, so his finger is currently wrapped around the trigger. This one goes straight underneath here, to which the thumb can kind of be seen there, which we could probably just backwards. Yeah. Okay. So here's gonna be knuckle 1, 3, 4. Man's got big hands, okay. I had not realized how big they were. This hand is twisted same as this one, where it's gonna be compressed underneath, because this should be about where the palm is, and then you have the knuckles over top, and then let's see, the arm is gonna be down and back up. Trying to explain how I'm figuring this out. At the same time, it's really hard to do on the fly. I can teach people, but it takes time. Alright, so you got this scrunch up here where the knuckles are. You've got the general finger here, because he's wrapping it around that pistol grip. And then it looks like these two are closer on the pistol grip, whereas this one's a little looser, because it's kind of wrapping right underneath where the pistol arms of the trigger housing is. Which again, I can't tell if that's shadows or part of him, because that picture's really dark. Still not sure. Alright, that's fine though. So we've got this thumb here. So this finger's gonna kind of just disappear right around that knuckle, because that comes down and goes out, and then I'm sorry, this part looks like a mess right now. Let's see. I feel like I might be making that a little too big. I probably am. This goes back around. Yeah, that's gonna have to do for now. Alright, so it's underneath the thumb, right? And then the other two are more tightly squeezed, so in this, it would be because we're wrapping it around and back. Okay, here comes the fun part. So, his elbows are pretty on line with each other, which means I'm gonna have to move the shoulder here because I got something wrong on the length of his arms. But that's okay. So this comes up. So that's the major part of the muscle being compressed. Got the elbow here, which, thank God I made a grid line. Yeah, that works. Something feels wrong. Alright. Trying to figure out the length of his forearm to wrist ratio. And making sure I got the hand right. Because... yeah, that's where I went wrong. So, I was starting it a little bit too far back. That's okay though. Trying to figure out what felt weird about that, and it's because his shoulder is like super scrunched, and actually his shoulder's like right on top of that. I'll have to redraw 3, but that's okay. I've got a pretty good idea of what it looked like anyhow. Alright. So, forearms and biceps. Okay, I feel like I got the majority of this one figured out. The shoulder's obviously a fucking mess. Let's see if I can figure that part out. Got the gun stock here. We've got bicep here. Try not to lose number 3. That's what I forgot. Okay, so I was trying to figure out why the shoulder looked weird to me, and that's because I wasn't carving it enough forward with the twist. With the twist. You're welcome. Alright, now I'm gonna do myself a favor and just go grab a set of pens real fast. So I didn't think to have those with me over here. Did you decide to come cut him? She done spaz and she wanna cuddle now. Oh, she does. Yeah, give me this face. Give me this face. Oh my Bert. Alright. Oh, no falling. Okay, so. Alright. I got gray tones here on the desk that I covered in everything else that I own. Or at least I think I do. Or are those on the table? Yeah, that should work. It's a dark green, but that'll do the trick. Alright, this is just a variable me thing. Thinking about redoing the numbers to one, give myself a little bit more space, but so I don't lose them. So I've got my colored pencils. Well, I have different colored pens here with me that I'm probably going to go ahead and use to do those with. There we go. That's what was fucking bothering me. It just didn't look right. Alright. So I'm pretty sure I got this one. And then as far as the chest goes, I think that's about as good as I'm going to get for the time being until I have an idea for the costuming. Which I don't think I'm going to bother doing at the present moment. I really don't feel like it. So, moving on. This is number 2. Let's go ahead and do... We'll go ahead and do number 3 down here. Need to move my reference stuff. So I can make sure I'm actually visible at the present moment. So before we lose number 3, let's go ahead and draw out number 3. It's really fun, babe. If you ever want to draw people from a funny angle, do yourself a favor, draw them from like straight behind, because it's the funniest looking thing you'll ever fucking see. It's one of those, like if you've ever watched the show Bob's Burgers, you'll understand why they shape their characters the way they do. Trust me, give me a moment. I'll pop open a picture. Oh shit. Oh, no momento, por favor, it is. Don't ask me for much more than that in Spanish, I suck. I catch phrases and shit from everywhere, but trying to speak the actual language, Molly ain't got it. Alright, now I knew I found a good picture of the back, but where the fuck is it? Sorry. Saw a really good picture that was good for that. And obviously, gonna go ahead and fix that up while I got the chance. Back on mission, back of the headshot. There we are. A banger of a fucking moment in that show again. Seems to be another one of those fan favorite moments that are just like, you know what, I can appreciate that. Alright. Did it save properly? Yep. See? We look, you cannot tell me that we don't look like Bob's Burgers, like layout for characters from behind, which again, totally understand why they do that, because we look like either Q-tips, and you will never unsee that from your brain once it's in there. You either look like a Q-tip or you look like a match. Alright. See if I can find one more. Okay, pretty sure I got it. Alright, so fun part of doing this one is not as straight up. Right behind the head here is, so as you can see here, I drew out part of the eye line. It's not straight from behind like this picture here. It's gonna be slightly angled, so I might have made that circle too big. Let's go for about that. And then still good on time. Alright. Now that I remembered to look. Let's see. Shape of the head. Got where the neck is going to do its thing. So we have the back here, the base of the skull. You have the neckline, which that's going to be all choked up. Now, a fun part about doing back anatomy that I've been having fun with on learning recently. So most of my shit's self-taught, not even gonna lie, is the difference between the clavicle and your what the fuck is it called? Shoulder blades, and how they tend to sit fairly close to one another, so drawing the back can be a little rough at first as you try to remember how to shape it slightly different. And yet, almost exactly the same. It's kind of fun. So, base of the skull. And then this is where it starts up on his jawline. Yeah, neck coming back and forward here. So I know this is going to do one of those with the trapezoids. Might have been making that shoulder just a slight bit too forward. but everything is going to be curved inwards, so it's almost going to be like that. And then plus there's a lot of space between your shoulder blades. So the fun part about this is it'll almost look like I'm doing this one again, and I'm not. It's only because this side is scrunched on the front, and so it's going to be more, it'll look more elongated from the back. And then getting the twist on this side over here is going to be interesting. So we've got the shoulder blade up, we've got the rib cage down, and then you have where here. Because the twist is going to bring the hips more at an angle like this. So we can actually angle that a little bit more down. This is going to do one of those. So we have it coming from the spine here, right? To which, thanks to that, the spine is going to look somewhat straight from the back. But I have this. Bring it forward over here. So there's a slight scrunch, but because of the twist and the pull forward, it won't look too crazy. Red. Okay. And then we have up at the shoulder here. Half the stock of the gun would be back here, and then I actually need to angle the head more. This is where it gets a little tough, is actually figuring out the chin to the jawbone where it comes back up here, because we're not seeing all of the facial features because we're working on the back of the head majorly. But you can still denote where they normally would be, and then that's going to be the scrunch here. Which I might have to bring the shoulder up a bit, that's fine. Because his jaw Yeah, there it is. Okay. So his jaw's there. And then you have where the cheek would be squished up in the front there. Which, man, is a gun. Yeah, the stock would be here. Stocky butt. To which, with the way that I drew this out, yeah, that stock would look more like that. Set the angle. Yeah, where's my fucking ruler? I don't know why top down's gonna work better on this one, but it is. Because it's gonna be I mean, then you also have the squishy of doing the opposite. We are pointing here. So somewhere along that should do the trick. Yeah. I'll have to bring the gun pictures back up here in a minute. Alright. Onward and upward. So we have the chin here, or what we can see of it. You have the curve back into the cheekbone, and then, since we're not showing the eyes, because it's that back side of the face, you have where it's going to just easily curve into the very edge of the brow, and then come back into the rest of the skull. I am sucker for a good jawline, so honestly drawing an angle like this to me is just like, ooh yeah baby, give me that jaw. Alright, and since that's bent forward, yep, and then curved again forward, we're gonna have a double up. Where, yep. Fix that just a little bit. Okay, now the fun part from figuring out the other stuff. So we'd have the trigger somewhere around here-ish, from what I can figure out, and then the secondary part where his hand is going to be about there, so we'll be able to see this one. And then that's definitely not the length of the gun proper, but it's close. So figuring out the arms, this one's going to look to be on top of itself, which is fine. So we have that there, and that works out because this is curving forward, so we're not going to see all of that arm anyway. Yeah, perfectly hidden behind it. No shit. Hold on. Doesn't work. Working backwards from the trigger, as long as I got it in the right spot, should be here. Alright, something feels wrong about that arm. That's okay, we'll figure it out in a minute. Well, there's gonna be a fun part trying to get that ear right. I haven't even fucking thought of that yet. So we have the jawline coming up. And we have where the ear's supposed to start, right? But because the angle that we're at, we're gonna see most of the back of the ear here. And our boys, as I said, got a pretty flat ear, so what's gonna happen is... like that. Ish. Nice part is, if you can draw a mushroom, you can draw a human ear fairly well. It's just finding the right angle for it, because it is shaped like one of the flat mushrooms you'll see growing off of a tree. Pretty much a lot like that, if you need to think of it a different way while you're drawing it. Think of a mushroom. You're welcome. Alright, so what's bothering me is going a little too extreme here, and I think here. So, to try to fix that. So I went leak body shape for a second there, that's why. Getting that elbow from behind's pretty rough. Hold on. Okay, that's why it seemed a little weird. Didn't quite have the elbow at the right spot. So we got the shoulder here, which I'm still happy with. We've got part of the shoulder and arm that goes up here. There's something bugging me and I'm just trying to figure it out. fairly certain I got it. Something is still bothering me up here. I'm not sure how to approach it. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, because whatever it is, I'm not entirely catching on to it at the moment. But if I give myself a few minutes, I fucking swear I know English. Oh, I've been talking it my whole fucking life. Anyway, we're gonna move on to a different angle. And then maybe that'll help me figure out what in the world I feel like is still wrong about that shoulder, since I cannot seem to place it. For the life of me. Well, anyway. You know, you can tell I started pressing pretty fucking hard too, because that's a lot darker than the other two. Yeah, well. I'll probably wind up having to put these into ink before I move onwards anyway. I have some grayscale pens I'll probably go ahead and overline it with. That way it might scan better than just doing the graphite. Coffee is good. Okay. Onwards! Alright. So I don't tell myself I'm gonna keep coming back. Alright. That's fine. This is good. This is good. Alright, so there's the grip there. So we're gonna do the last one for the on level with him, and then I will have to look into doing probably a top down and a bottom up. Maybe? I'm not sure if I want to do a bottoms up fucking look on this sketch, because that's gonna be pretty fucky for me. It's one of those positions that you don't really put characters in, because they tend to look kind of funny when you do it no matter what. If you're doing a straight top down or bottom up, you only really do it because you want to show something else. So not exactly an angle I'm accustomed to doing. So we'll see whether or not I actually bother doing it. Straight on. There's the gun black. There's the stock of it. Very butt. We've got the shoulder coming out here. I'm kind of wrapping around it because my boy knows how to pocket his gun. And these hands are going to be stocked literally on top of each other, so it's getting to look a little messy here. Majorly because just trying to draw out these parts is going to be a little bit fooky. So, let's see if we can get this right. We have the fingers on this side, which stacked on top of each other. We have the one finger outward here. It's gonna come here. This hand. Versus the rest of the fingers, which are going to be cupping more of the barrel here. And then, yeah, that's about where I'm going to go with that. I put this a little close to the edge of the paper. That's alright. Let me scooch the surface so you guys can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Yeah, my edge of the paper is literally right there. Yeah, I fucked that up a little bit. Let's see if we can put the head on top of this. So we know the cheek is gonna be here. Super squishy cheek. Oh, doing the nose might be a hard bargain here, but the nose we know is gonna be touching here. So I can put the nose block there. I'll have to find a good picture to do. Yeah. And then because he is leaning forward, I have to be careful with that too. Let's see. Before we go too far. Don't need that one. We'll keep that one in case we decide to do a straight sideways one, because I feel like we probably definitely need to. I know I have a good one of his face straight on. You just might want to open up. It's not a, yeah, it's opening up as a web page. Alright. Let's see. Mm-mm. before I get too caught up, I guess. Because I know me, I could sit here and just do this all fucking day. I do have to get going, as my plans are coming up soon. Anybody who watches this after the stream, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. I will definitely be doing this again soon. There's where it's bothering me. Ha 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 ha, I fucking figured it out. This is very much my organic as fuck process on how to draw. Which, yeah, I think I put this side in too far wide, but I feel like I'm doing a little injustice. Anyway. Yeah, because the one head over here, and then you'll have this one, and you'll have that one. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit better. You've got the twist down, but yeah, that's the other part that's bothering me. Does I feel like I squished his body a little too much? Oops. I think. Well, that just looks distorted as hell to me. So I might have to do that one again. But anyway. Definitely gonna have to do that one again. Anyway, I feel like the other two we got pretty well. It's just something about this one bothers the crap out of me, so I'm probably just gonna erase it, do it again. Because I've almost got it, but it just feels wrong as fuck. Which is sad, because I feel like I got the hand position pretty well. But I'm pretty sure it's the shoulders that are throwing me off, because they look too much. If you understand what I mean, that's exactly what I mean. Anyhow, guys, I'm gonna call it here. It has been fun. I'll be doing this again next week. Maybe even a little bit tomorrow after we finish up Cthulhu, but that's a big if. Cthulhu's got a lot left, and it's going to be a lot of detail work, so I'm pretty sure that's going to take up all the time. But in any case, next time I stream this, feel free to come around. If you missed anything, you want to see it again, go to my About section. I do have all of the links to my YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff for all of our projects that we've been working on. This one isn't actually posted on Facebook or Instagram yet, so go to YouTube to see the progress as it was. Hopefully the finished project, well, the finished scan-in, I can put up online. Anyway, guys, have a wonderful day. We will see you tomorrow at noon for Cthulhu Fatagan. Have a wonderful day, guys.